I want to do this live really briefly to talk about get off my chin. Yes, I see it. We see it. Ooh, this camera good as fuck. Yeah, this camera good as fuck, bitch. Wait, hold on. Bitch, she got dead skin in her face and shit. Yeah, that's a little dead skin. What that was? Was that a piece of lobster? But I tried lobster rolls today. But anyway, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and let that right because I like being human. I like having real moments that y'all know. I ain't no robot or no clone. A man, a woman, but I could be. I mean, I could be a clone of the divine. You know, I take that. I'm not above being a clone. A man, a woman. I ain't gonna be so egotistical that I ain't gonna think that I couldn't be a man, a woman. But yeah, it's been difficult. Um, I've been dealing with some stuff mentally for the past couple of days, and I just think, like that song, it's hard out here for a pimp trying to get this money for the rent. I think it's hard out here for, just people in general, and I can only speak from, being, black, deeply melanated, trans, lay lim, lay lur, and indigenous. I can speak from my story, and it's been difficult. Like the other day, I got into it with um, a being who was born with a vagina, who identified with the construct of womanhood, and it was rough because I humbled myself, and she said that I jumped in front of her, and so I stepped back. I ain't beef with her, I ain't argue with her, I ain't say nothing smart to her. I was like, oh, okay, my bad, I'm sorry, and I stepped back. And then she had a problem with how close I was standing to her, and she caught an attitude and said, something smart. And she was like, basically saying, I need to know my place. And I was tripping because she was trying to remind me that I was not what she was. And so there's a pecking order that needs to be respected and followed. And I let her know because, they always be under this delusion that we're trying to imitate them simply because we choose to physically express ourselves more in a way that aligns with how they carry themselves. But we're channeling both the masculine and the feminine through ourselves. And so it's not being them. It's channeling more of them. It's mirroring more of them. And because it mirrors more of them and you can physically see it, it's an opportunity for you to come for it. You feel like you have a window in to come for it. You know what I'm saying? And so I let her know I wasn't no halfling. I let her know I was whole. I said I'm my mother and my father. I said you are a halfling. But it was still stressful. It's stressful because we know we live in a climate where individuals who are born with vaginas and individuals who are not born with vaginas are out here struggling for equality, out here struggling to be respected, out here struggling to be acknowledged, and we out here warring amongst each other. Like that's difficult. Like being treated like you got to get in line for some type of pecking order. But let's be clear. I think the problem, and I'm gonna get right to the point with this. I think the problem that a lot of black people in particular, not all black people because I don't want to generalize. I think the problem that a lot of black people are dealing with and expecting and accepting what's going on right now and accepting what's happening in this climate is the fact that the trans community that said, you know what? We done messing with the plug. We don't want to talk to the plug. We want to talk to the distributor. See, we didn't say it. Nah, don't. Nah, I ain't trying to holler at the plug. I'm through with the plug. I don't need the plug. We done been aligning ourselves and putting ourselves in affiliation with the distributor. And see, it was fine when queer people, when black trans people, when non-binary people were saying, hey, let me take the crumbs that my cis friend or my being who was born with certain parts and continue to align with those parts throughout their life. You accepted, the role that you were assigned at birth or the gender that you were assigned at birth. You agree with the sexual anatomy and the determination that they gave you at birth. However way you want to talk about this, however way you want to interpret yourself. But now that we're not accepting the crumbs from you anymore, we not saying, oh, okay, I'm gonna split this crumb with you. I need you to plug me in because you cis, you biological, because I'm biological too. Pussy ain't fake. It just can't do what your pussy do. This pussy was made from real meat. This pussy was made from real meat. This pussy wasn't made from no fake meat. It was real meat. It was real flesh. Flesh and blood that crafted this whole. It just can't do what yours do, but it's still alive. The whole is alive. It's a living whole. Can't do what yours. It's just shut off. But them cells and that skin's still alive. Because if that skin wasn't alive, then it'll be rotten down there. See, Flame had called it a sore. But Flame, you ain't never had one, so you don't really know what the fuck you talking about. And I love you, TD. It's okay. You don't know no better. Love you, TD. Love you down to the ground, but you don't know no better. You ain't got one. But that flesh still alive. If that flesh was dead, it'd be rotten. Wouldn't be no feeling down there. It'd be rotten. Wouldn't be no feeling. It'd be black. And it's a living whole. It's a living pocket. Just like all this is alive. All of it is live flesh. Live skin. It's live. It's a live whole. Yeah. Might not it can't do what somebody that was born with one. And all of this can't do the same thing. Some of them got to have surgeries to fix their shit. So all their shit don't got the same capability. Bitch, all they shit ain't got the same capability, so it's still a live hole though. It's live. That hole got life in it. That hole got life in it. So it might not be the same kind of hole the next girl got, but the hole work. And that's the problem. Like, they mad because we done they mad. I see a dead bird in the street. They mad because we done said fuck that. We don't need to go through the plug no more. And see, that's what they is. The halflings done been the plug. And now we don't need them to be the plug no more. We're going straight to the distributor. Let me holler at the distributor. Let me holler at the big dog. See, let me sit at the table with Massa. I want my crumbs directly from Massa. They don't understand that shit. Bitch, I want my crumbs directly from Massa. Bitch, I ain't split my crumbs with you, ho. Bitch. Nigga. I ain't splitting my crumbs with you, nigga. What happened? Nigga, I want to talk to the distributor, bitch. So I need to see the special man. Let her have it. Bitch. That's why they mad, though. That's why they mad. That's what they mad about. That's what they upset about. Bitch, because we done said fuck that shit. And so I realize that now. Now, I'm not finna continue wasting my time being upset. Waste my time being in my feelings, waste my time like going through all this because you don't want to look at your people like that. Like, you don't want to think of your people as being, you don't want to think that it's people in our community that could that could just be for the wrong, like that you want to think the best of people. You know, that's what we want to do of each other. We want to think the best of each other. And I don't think it's wrong to want to think the best of each other, but is it realistic? You know, since I've been here in New York, I'm not gonna lie. Of course, you could tell I've had a cocktail or two right now, but being here has been stressful because every time I come here, it's just a super depressing energy. And I think it's because it's so many people here who are suffering and going through it. And I'm an empathic person, so I naturally feel it. But that doesn't mean that I want to run away from the work. It just means that I need more capability, more capacity, and more resources to do the work so that I can continue to take care of myself. And man, they want me, you know. So that's one thing that I want people to be praying for me. You know, right now, if you love me and you support me, you know, just to keep your loving arms of protection around me, you know, in the physical and the spiritual plane, you know, to help me because I take on a lot of suffering with people, and I feel like I want to create a space for people who are really like seriously abusing drugs and can't handle the drug, or the drug has maybe become overwhelming for them, especially because my ex-husband and my husband passed away from drug related overdoses. I want to create a safe space for people to try to detox from that, and for people to begin to vision another path, because a lot of us, we take on other people's pain. We look at people and we see them in addiction, and we see them using, and we don't think about why they're using. A lot of people who pick up and use drugs in order as a way to cope, because we all have our ways of coping. But a lot of us who pick up drugs and decide to use strong drugs beyond marijuana, because we're not excusing marijuana, when anything is used in imbalance, when anything is used in excess, and an excess that becomes harmful, then it's time to have a conversation about what you're doing. When it's doing you and you're not doing it, it's time to have a conversation about it. And so, a lot of times people in our community, we turn to self-medicating, and a lot of times we've been introduced to self-medicating because we live in a government that at one time thought we was mentally ill, that one time thought we were crazy, and they're still trying to push that narrative now. And so we have those medicines in our systems. We've been exposed to pharmaceutical drugs that make us sometimes crave street drugs. And so there's a whole bunch of conversations that we need to be having in order to do the work on ourselves so we can heal, because society is trying to throw some of us away. Society is trying to justify throwing a lot of us away. And so I feel like my heart is leading me to create a space for people to detox, to create a safe space for people to start to heal and to recover from that. But baby, the resources ain't there. The resources ain't there, and I don't think that I want to follow the same exact model that I feel like we've been following, because I've had a chance to work within that model, and it was extremely flawed. I don't think that a lot of the facilities that are doing harm reduction work are centered in restoring people as much as they're centered in just creating a safe space for them to self-destruct or expire. And so I'm not gonna go too much into that, but I said what I said. I don't know if it's about recovery. I don't know if it's about healing. I don't know if it's about any of that. From what I've experienced and from what I've seen, I feel like, a lot of the things that our nation is co-signing, and a lot of the things that our nation supports is just really about maintenance, and not really actual recovery, not actual like restoration and healing. But anyway, moving on from that, like I said, um, I love y'all. I don't have the energy. I'm taking your advice. Um, I saw it in one of the comments. I'm taking y'all advice. I'm protecting my energy. I don't want y'all to feel like I'm abandoning y'all on these topics, where it is trying to create tension between us and beings who are born with wombs who identify with the construct of womanhood. And I have to be long-winded with that because I never really wanted to use the term cis, you know. I did, and in certain spaces I will use it because I don't like using the term trans, but I use it because I know that's my name up on the plantation. And while cis women arguing about being cis, ma'am, get in line and get your coin, because there's gonna be a coin with your name on it under cis. And while y'all out here arguing and don't want to be called cis, it's a coin with your name on it, cis. Like, that's how the plantation is trying to recognize you. So, ma'am, all this is about is getting your coin, getting your resources. And so while you arguing and don't want to accept that name and don't want to be called it, guess what? Other people going to be getting that coin for you. Because it's all just your name up on the plantation, boo. Get your coin, get in line, get your coin, get your change. Sis, get your crumbs. Get your sis crumbs. Are you arguing and don't want to be called sis? Child, boom. But I'm not gonna call you that to your face if it upsets you that much and it make you that upset, girl. Miss Thing, I will not call you that. But when I'm up on the plantation calling myself trans, you will be cis. And then mind you, when you's ups on the plantation trying to get your coins to remember what your slave name is. It's sis. Sis. And sir, bitch. The fuck. Both of y'all sis. And bitch, leave it up to me, you halflings.
Sorry.
That's what I call you. I call you halflings. I call you halflings, boo. Oh yes, ma'am. That's what I call you. I call you halflings. But ups on the plantation,
Good, how are you?
your names be sis, sus, and that's it. Like, that's all it is. Like, and the rest of the community, they don't want to just come straight out and tell y'all, bitch, that's your names ups on the plantation, bitch. Ups on the plantation, your names is sis, bitch. Just like we got a name on the plantation, and they done had to specify our name, bitch. They done had to specify y'all's. Bitch, that's your name.
Yeah, thank you.
That's a name Master about to recognize you by. Bitch, then they gonna have trans, they gonna have cis, and they gonna have android. They gonna have trans, cis, android, and clone. Bitch, the names gonna keep coming. Y'all fussing about cis, bitch.
Go ahead, run ahead, okay. Ya, la cogió la vela de ahí. La cogió de ahí. La vela. Los cantos.
Run.
Have a good night, sir. Have a good weekend que tenga buena.
It's gonna be trans, android, clone, cis. It's gonna be all them names for y'all, boom. Bitch, why you playing? Thank you. Did I get it? Oh. Yeah, it's gonna be trans, android, clone. Have a good night, baby.
Good night.
Them hoes arguing. They arguing about being called cis. Bitch, it's about to be trans, cis, clone, android, bitch. They about to start breeding all, mixing it, all type of stuff together and having all type of life forms, honey. These men paying down payments on robots from China, baby. And they arguing about that. I'm not about to keep entertaining this conversation. That's how I feel what I said. Like, I need to focus. I need to protect my energy, I'm not trying to be down here mingling with y'all in my 60s and 70s on this plane. Like, I want to be in transition be ready to start my next life. So I got a lot of shit to do in a short amount of time. I got a lot of shit to do. So, bitch, I can't do it with y'all, honey. I'm not sitting around here giving all my energy to this bullshit. I need me a cocktail, boo. But yeah, giving all my energy to this bullshit. I love y'all down to the ground, but bitch, I'm not trying to do this with y'all forever. Forever and ever, bitch. This is cute for y'all, but bitch, no ma'am, it's not cute for me, bitch. This shit is depressing. Bitch, I'm so glad I didn't make no children. Bitch, I love. Hey, how you doing, baby? I'ma get 2 of these. I'ma get one. How much these is? Yeah, I'm not about to Oh, that's for both of them? Okay, well hold on. Let me do this. Let me just get this one and then I wanna get this. Yeah, that's that and that. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, but I'm just like, no, like I'm 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 trying to do what I gotta do to try to just carve out a path, for the next little warriors, the next little soldiers that's coming, to be able to navigate this. Thank you so much. Have a good night. Yeah, for the next ones, just to be able to navigate this foolishness. And like I think getting older, you realize that you don't want to just leave a spoken space. And this could be ego, but I'm just gonna be honest. This is where I'm at. I don't want to just leave words behind. I want to leave a tangible space. I want to leave a tangible building that will be refuge, that will be sanctuary, that will be a space to continue the exploration of self. Understanding ourselves spiritually and mentally, understanding, who we are, beneath the surface, like having those conversations that cause us to explore ourselves on a deeper level. Like I want to create and how whatever that looks like, if that looks like theater, if that looks like performance art, if that looks like music, if that looks like writing, if that looks like dancing, if that looks like a place for y'all to roll around in the mud and fight it out, like, but with thoughtfulness, with the intention of we're gonna get through this, we're gonna get past this, we're not gonna stay stuck here. We're not gonna allow this to hold us hostage. We know that we family, we know that we're a tribe. And I'm learning how to express that to people. Like we have the colonizer will come at us and say, oh, you trying to police me. You trying to police me. When somebody in your circle is bringing harm and you address it to them and you say, hey, like we're not doing this, but you're the one doing this and you keep doing this and you won't stop doing this, it doesn't mean that I don't love you. It just means that right now you're harming us collectively. And if you're not willing to put your own personal pain to the side for the greater good of the collective, then we need you to step away for right now. We love you down to the ground, wish you the best, praying for you, don't speak no ill over you. But for right now, it's not policing you, it's saying, hey, this is not what the tribe needs right now. And like this needs to be a telepathically understood thing. Like this needs to be a conversation that everybody's having. If y'all not having this conversation collectively and you just got one person just speaking for the collective saying this is what they think they need, no. You have to be intuitive enough and you have to be paying attention to your people enough to be able to read the room and feel what everybody is feeling, but maybe they can't express, or maybe they don't have the words to say, or maybe they don't know how to say it in that moment in a way that won't be hurtful to the other person. And so like learning how to communicate in a way where you're not hurting one another, but you are hearing one another and you are being considerate of the other people, because we use massive tools to try to dismantle this, and a lot of times we end up building it right back up because we're not playing the whole tape in whatever it is that we do. Oh, oh, you're trying to police me, or you're trying to control me, or you're not giving me my freedom. But when your freedoms start to impact my peace, and see, we have to have a conversation about peace, because a lot of us, your peace is fragile. My peace is not fragile. I could be on the train with somebody who playing some loud ass music right on side me. I could be on the train with somebody who um, speaking and talking to God and praying to God out loud and pussy popping in my face. I can handle all that. But when you direct it at me and you sitting on the train and you say some shit like for example, the other day we on the train, and this man started preaching, Father God, King Jesus, Father God, King Jesus, Father God, King Jesus, and he did this, he died, and he said, and he went through, and first my daughter said something, and when my daughter said something, I was gonna try to not say nothing. I was gonna try to let it ride. I was gonna try to mind my business. Like I said in my song, I could have mind my business, but you came for me. So I was trying to mind my business, but he stood right in front of us, and then my daughter said something to him, and she was like, "Wait a minute, so is God Jesus, and is Jesus God? Is they the same person? Like, is it two men that we praying to, or is it one man? I'm confused. Is it one man or two? Is God and Jesus the same? Like, y'all confusing me, because if they the same, why you have to keep saying different names if they the same thing?" So that was the question that she had. And so when she asked that question, he felt cocky, like he was challenging her. And so then he started, like he was really trying to put it down. Like the Father went to the cross and he died and he said and he went and he walked on water. Then he was barefoot and he changed the world and he saved everybody. The whole spiel. So by the time he finished talking, I was so plucked, because he's standing right in front of me, like literally, like as close as this phone is to my face, he may be like a few more centimeters away from me, and he just, God this, Jesus that, and the Father this and the Father that, and he went and he said and he walked and he talked and he had and went and by the time he was done, when he was walking off the train, I was like, and Mama loved you too, and Mama died, and she suffered, and she went and she said, and it was just, I just got so aggravated. I was like, I'm so sick of hearing about I'm so sick of that. And the whole cart basically got it. Like I was by that time I was so loud that the whole car heard my voice, pretty much the same as how loud I was, when I fussed on the train about, the gay boy who died. But like, we got all this shit going on. Like, they say a black female was murdered the other day because she was mistaken for trans, and now y'all talking about the black females being murdered and this being a case of transphobia. But when females that were born with vaginas, or beings that was born with a vagina, were being burned at the stake for being accused of being witches because they looked at masculine, because they didn't fit into the construct of what we thought a woman was supposed to look like, or how a woman was supposed to maneuver. What was that then? Was that transphobia too? And so, like, it's like trying to use transphobia to justify murders and killings that have been happening, because men have always, there are some men who have always been uncomfortable with women who did not, who were not able to manifest in a certain aesthetic. It's been problematic. And so either you assimilate to become a trans man, become a man, you know what I'm saying, or um, you try to fit in, or you just, go and get you a woman and you settle down and be a lesbian. You know what I'm saying? But there's always been some discourse, you know, in regards to females or beings who were born with wombs who were not able to perform a certain level of femininity. Just like the expectation is for, look at Celie on The Color Purple. She didn't perform a level of femininity. She didn't meet the level. She didn't meet the requirement. Celie could easily transition to become a man because Celie wasn't a curvy Celie would have been more attractive as a man, some would probably say. It's always them type, that they want to make the Celie. The Celie is the one that they could easily become a man and nobody would pay it no attention. That's Celie. And so we understand that there has been this expectation of black womanhood for a long time, for black feminine beings for a long time. And so, like, to try to use transphobia, I don't know. I just feel like this is a way to for patriarchy to come in. Trying to make this about you being mistaken for a trans woman. Like, this is a slippery slope. For me, this is a slippery slope. Where this conversation is going. I could see why. I get it. But I think it's a slippery slope, I think it's a slippery slope. I think that these issues have always been here. I think that these issues have always been present. And to try to justify them under the trans guise, I just think it's a slippery slope. That's my opinion. That's how I feel, But yeah, it's a slippery slope because these issues have always been here. They've always been beings who were born with wombs and born without wombs who have been subjected to scrutiny because they did not measure up to the requirements. You know what I'm saying? And this is like we've heard black women say this for a long time, that they were never included in the idea of what it meant to be a woman or what womanhood looked like. And so now to be blaming these murders and these happenings on some trans shit, like, I'ma go ahead and get off that. Like, I don't like. But back to the whole point of the video is, I'm not finna be sitting up here arguing because at the end of the day, all this really is people trying to release the most compelling stories for massa. Yeah, they just trying to release the most compelling stories for massa, and I feel like it's foolishness on both parts. I feel like a lot of my sisters who was born with wombs, I feel like they on some fuck shit. And I feel like a lot of my sisters who was not born with wombs, they on some fuck shit too, And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, stay in my lane over here, continue working on trying to be a bridge, trying to be a safe space in the middle of all of this. Now, I can't live in the eye of the storm with you, and I got to tell you that. I want to say that to y'all tonight, and I'm going to stop right here, and I'm going to say this right now because somebody needs to hear this. I'm speaking to you right now. You are not a bad person. You are not a monster. And so you don't need to keep punishing yourself. You don't need to keep existing in that place of turmoil, in that place of suffering. And as I say this to you, I say it to myself. We do not have to continue to exist in the eye of the storm. We don't have to stay there. We don't have to live there. We don't have to self-destruct there. We don't have to stay in that place. We do not have to stay in the eye of the storm. I'm telling you today, we can come out of the eye of the storm. Please walk out of the eye of the storm with me. We don't have to live there. I have been living in the eye of the storm for most of my life. And if I ain't familiar with nothing else, I'm familiar with a storm. There's a storm. There's a storm. There's a storm. We don't have to live in the eye of the storm, though. I'm telling you, I'm talking to myself. I'm ministering to myself. I'm constantly telling myself this. I'm telling myself this. I'm telling myself this because I be living there. And I be so focused on trying not to hurt nobody else, trying not to do harm to nobody else. I consistently keep hurting myself and doing harm to myself. And I gotta stop that. Hey, I can't keep hurting myself and sparing people who wouldn't spare me. Did you hear what I said? Sparing people who wouldn't spare me. Sparing people who wouldn't spare me. Oh, I keep forgiving, but they have none for me. Oh, I can't keep forgiving you if you ain't got none for me. I can't keep showing you grace if you ain't got none for me. Oh, we. And I can't feel guilty about it. I can't feel guilty about not wanting to die in a storm that did not have me in mind. Because if you gonna come and destroy some things, I need you to destroy those things with the mindset that it's gonna be provisions made for me. But don't destroy it and leave us all destitute. Don't take it all away and leave us all destitute, because we didn't all ask for this. We didn't all ask for this world the way it is. We didn't ask for this world to be like it is. We didn't pray for this. A lot of us didn't get down on our knees and pray for this. We just accepted things the way they was. We accepted, we saw what it was, and we saw our family making do. We saw our brothers and sisters making do. We saw our cousins and our aunties and our uncles making do. We saw our best friends making do, so we made do. But that's not what we prayed for. That's not what we asked for. That's not what we signed up for. We didn't sign up for this. I didn't ask for this. I was given a paper that was already filled out and told to sign it. How many of you were given a paper that was already filled out and told to sign it? You didn't get to help write the paper. All you could do was sign your name if you was to get anything out of what had already been put in place. But we have to have faith that we deserve to move out of the eye of the storm. We have to believe in ourselves, not just for ourselves, but the self that's coming. Because baby, when your soul leave your body, when your spirit leave your body, it's going to go on to a house that's healed. Your everything gonna be reset and recycled and restored. You're not that trauma in the beginning. You're not in pain anymore. You're not gonna feel that suffering. You're gonna feel peace in your mind. You're gonna feel a calm on your spirit when that reset happens. And when that reset happens, you want to be done the work in this life. You want to be done the work in this to where you could move on and have different experiences and not be stuck in the same place. Because I know what it's like to be stuck. Being addicted to crack and using crack in order to deal with life and in order to accept what was going on in my life, it had me stuck. It had me repeating the same cycles, repeating the same heartaches. And I'm not going to say that I've never stumbled and went back down that road, but what I can say is I don't go back down that road the way that I used to. I used to live there. I used to live in the eye of the storm, and I'm just thankful that I don't live there anymore. And I want you, if you hear me right now, to understand that we don't have to live there. We can visit, we can picnic, but we don't have to set up residency in suffering, in sorrow, in grief, in anger, in poverty, in sickness, in hatred. We don't have to live there. My God is God today. We don't have to live there. Bitch, I might drop the cheering off by their auntie house, girl, and go spend the night there, bitch. But we don't have to live there. I might drop the cheering off. Child, I might delete my Instagram and my Facebook and delete my apps so I have a little moment. But we don't have to live there. And I want us to stop living in division, living in hatred towards each other, living in misery, living in separation and delusion. We talk about how delusional trans people are, but we all are delusional to think that our way is automatically better than another person's way. We don't know what they paid for. We don't know what it cost them to walk the way they walk and to talk the way they talk and think the way they think. We don't know what they've endured to see life the way they see it. So what gives any of us the right to judge anybody? That's why I need to be over here focusing on me and working on me. Because when you love somebody, when you truly love people, you can't pick the parts of them you want to like. Trust me, I done tried. You can't pick the parts. Because guess what? The same parts that you can't stand about them is many times what make them who they is. The very thing you can't stand about that person is what make that person who they is. The very thing you can't stand is the very thing that made you love them. My goddess, God today. The good and the bad. The bitter and the sweet. Yes, honey. Yes, honey. The sweets and the sour. Oh. I'm not always the neighbor who gonna have the cup of sugar for you. Sometimes I'm gonna have a lemon. Sometimes I'm gonna have a lemon. I told my daughter, I said, I'm trying to manifest wealth because I want to be able to take care of the people that I love. I want to be able to leave a legacy for loved ones. And so now I've started saying this. Say, oh, I don't need that. I don't want that. Oh, no, you can have that because I'm grand. I'm grand. I say, as a child, I was grand. I did grand shit. Then I became a grand little girl. And now I'm a grand bitch. Oh, they don't understand. Because I'm grand. Yes, I'm grand. I'm a grand girl. And I do grand things. I'm trying to manifest, baby. I'm trying to manifest, baby. I'm trying to manifest grandness. I ain't there yet. That's what I'm learning. It ain't always about you being there. It's about you believing you can be there. It's about you manifesting the things that you want. It's about you talking about, but talking about it in a way where you being honest. Because like I said, I'm not a grand girl. I'm not grand yet. But I want to be a grand girl. And I want to be a grand girl with discipline. I want to be grand with discipline. Grand and disciplined. A grand girl that's disciplined. Grand. And I'm disciplined. I'm not I'm not over here taking from people things I don't need. I'm not over here just trying to take over, having a takeover spirit, trying to just always be seen and always be heard and always in control. No. But I'm still a grand girl. And I do grand things. Grand. Let me stop. Anyway, because I'm grand. Let me stop. Because I'm a grand girl. Grand. Grand. Let me stop. I'm got, let me come back. Okay, I'm okay now. But anyway, yeah, so I feel a lot better since I had a chance to vent on here. Hey, Shamika. Hey, Lanye. I love you. Hey, Hazel. Yay. Yeah, but yeah, so let me go ahead and get off this live. I had so much fun with you yesterday, Lanye. Girl, everybody had fun with you. Girl, everybody had fun. But yeah, so yeah, let me go ahead and get off the live. I love y'all. Dambadananda that I say cool, keep spinning and turning Ian Gani, Iyanko Kalukalo, which means I'm a child of God goddess, and if I am, then you know you are. We burn a candle, recognizing the past, present, and the future, which is the true Trinity. A man, a woman, lelem lele. Love y'all. Mwah.